ready?
Yeah, I got a surprise for you.
All right, Dave. Welcome to the podcast, man. There's just something different about doing the podcast when you come off of what do you have going on there, Dave?
I'm trying to hear. I couldn't hear you, but this is remember this?
I
I didn't
yes,
have to wear it last week because I won,
yeah,
but
and
I've how many? What are we? There's been how many weeks now since I haven't won very many. It's hard. There's been 10 games, right?
we've played 10 games, yes.
Okay,
And
so
you're 5-5.
I've deserved this 8 times.
Oh, 8 times.
Three of those times, I like to point out, were against the High Point winner. So but yeah, things have been a little rough.
So who you play matters?
It must.
Yeah.
When you're bad, it matters a lot. It
matters.
matters.
Yeah.
It matters.
Oh man. I mean, we're gonna jump into everything, but that is, I mean, when you score 106, and then like last week when Lee and Ed played, and somebody got a win with like a 50 spot, like that's tough.
Yeah, it's like those are gonna matter here in like 4 weeks when I'm like 1 win away or something from being in, or I could stay at 2 the rest of the season. That's very possible as well.
Yeah.
So, and that would almost make things easier.
But you have, I mean, you, Bad Beat Brian, and Rademacher. It's a tough week.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know you want wins too, but like, I mean, Ratty, he's in contention. You know what I mean? Like, like that's a big deal for him. Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal for you. I'm not saying it's not, but
yeah, but I mean, the only thing about last, like it's very top heavy. The league is right now. So you got a whole slew of teams that are only, that the whole 4 wins and less, like, are just, anything could happen there. But I feel like, yeah, anything renting and above is pretty safe.
Yeah. Well, and like, let's jump in. Okay. Everybody, how's it going? Great to be here. I was saying before, when you're trying to show off your loser bag, you know what I mean? That when I come into the podcast after a win, I just like a little bit more pep in my step, you know what I mean? And it just feels good it's a good day to be Kevin. So but we always kick off the show with your thing. So it's time for the Miller Time Team of the Week.
So to lead up into that,
okay,
things have been a little rough, I'll admit, in Miller Time land.
Yeah.
But not too long ago, I got a new toy.
Oh, okay.
Look how pretty that is.
That is pretty cool.
And it's made of plastic.
Yeah.
So like good for the beach and good for like the boat and the lake, and it's also good for, like, say you're sad and you're crying crocodile tears over your fantasy team, and your tears just drip onto your instrument. It's not going to hurt.
You're saying it's weather and emotion proof.
It is that.
Yeah.
And so, what it's been kind of, if you know me, I'm probably, up there with one of the most prolific, songwriters in the industry,
Yeah.
It's been a little dry spell.
You both are dating football players?
Yeah. A lot of that going around. So, with what Taylor likes to do, we're we're colleagues,
Yeah.
I mean, you'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
She, people always like to pick out in her songs, like, Easter egg kind of things, like who's she writing about? I take a different approach. Like, I just like to think about, the human experience, and just kind of think of things in my head, just, scenarios and just total imagination, not based in reality at all.
So this, whatever you've written, isn't really about anyone or anything. Like, we're not going to really find any.
Sometimes people think it is. Like, it's like, I mean, I just think of these scenarios, and the names are random. Yeah. Sometimes people like have imaginations, and they like insert themselves in.
Well, I'll just tell you, Dave, in American culture, we have a hero complex. Like, we like to read ourselves into the story when we don't even belong there.
But just know that, this song is totally made up. anything is just coincidental if it has anything to do with
Okay, gotcha.
any names or anything like that. So keep that in mind.
I
So
will. All right.
we'll see if this works. I hate everything and everybody, but I mostly hate you. I do a podcast with a jackass named Kevin. There's a guy in first, Flexity Flex Flex. A boob named Junior is one place from 7. He's got some wins without an appendix. Oh, I hate everything and everybody, but I mostly hate you. Me and Brennan have little in common, except we both have only won twice. Bad B Brian also has 2 wins, but he should have probably won twice or thrice. Thrice is a better word. I hate everything and everybody, but I mostly hate you. Ed and Lee both have reached 4 wins, but losing badly has been their stick. Ratty strangely also has 4 wins, but at least he's not a dick. Oh, I hate everything and everybody, but I mostly hate you. Skanky Rennie is far from 2013. Win or lose, he does it with class. Words can't say how much I miss Danny. The new guy Andy, what a pain in the ass. Oh, I hate everything and everybody, but I mostly hate you. The Red Kingdom might be Satan. Okay, so I lied a little bit. The rest of the song's all made up, but that part was kind of based on reality.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, I hate everything and everybody, but I mostly hate you. All right, your turn.
I hate everything and everybody, but I mostly hate you.
Hate you. All right,
Oh,
that's So that's
oh, hey, that I'll say, as just hearing it for the first time, it felt personal. Like you were describing these made up characters and everything, but then when you would sing the "I hate everything and everybody, but mostly I hate you," it felt like you were staring right into my soul, Dave.
Sometimes it feels that way.
It happens that, I don't know if everybody on the podcast knows, but because it's not obvious, I'm a preacher. And so on Sundays, yeah, it's weird. I know. I don't go around talking about it very much.
Yeah.
So on Sundays, people will come up and be like, "Oh, today I felt like you were talking right to me." Well, Dave, today I felt like you were talking
pure coincidence. Those were
me.
just scenarios pulled out of my head, just that, everyman kind of stuff,
Oh,
So anyway,
well, I appreciate it.
The award. So, in that, so that's a setup for the way I've been feeling.
Okay.
And so, so my thoughts this week, and please don't take offense to this, but I pretty much feel like all 6 winners this past week, like, it wouldn't bother me a bit if they all got lynched by an angry mob with pitchforks and lanterns. So
what? So let me help people out. So that's the Smithereens.
Yeah, they won. Hate that team.
That's the Red Kingdom.
Yeah,
they won. You referred to them as the devil.
Maybe, possibly Satan.
That's Skankalicious.
Yes, the worst.
That's off while singing Taylor Swift songs.
Yeah, he doesn't even have an appendix. How's he even winning?
Flexity Flex Flex.
What is? Yeah, well, that goes without saying. And
And
then you
new guy
got,
Andy Polk High School.
yeah, he's, a thorn in everybody's side coming into the league and just winning.
Yeah, it used to be. We
So,
used to have that team used to be called Bye Week, and now
yeah,
it's called Bye Bye to Your Wins Week.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I pretty much made an executive decision that I don't want to give the Miller Time Team of the Week to any winner. And so
Okay.
then I had to go down, okay, loser, but this winner or this loser was the best of us. In
Okay.
that, I'm giving it to, the guy I keep saying isn't a dick. I don't know if he is or not, Josh. I mean, I think he's not. I think he's
Yeah.
the only one of us that probably is a good guy. I don't know. I mean, Brennan better than I do. I haven't really been around him enough all these years to know whether he probably is. So I will we'll say I'm on the fence on that one. I
Okay.
don't know about Brian. I've only seen Brian out in with public, so he's been on his best behavior. But the thing that gets me with Brian is he's a football coach, and
Yeah.
my football coach in high
With the
school
dick.
was one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So guilty by
Yeah.
association.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so I'm going. Call me Ratty. He almost came back and beat Andy. He scored 112. He would have beat 8 other teams, and that loss catapulted him. He's now the best of the worst of all the 4-win teams and below. He's right there, 5th place. That this loss got him there. So the Miller Time Team of the Week, because I don't want to give it to any of the winners because I hate them all, is good old Josh Rademacher.
Oh,
Take that, Mr. Smitty.
that's awesome. I appreciate that, but it also sets us up for a first.
Oh, really? Oh no.
I think it's the first
Well,
time that
I can't remember if you would have to go back in the archives if I've ever given it to a loser before, but
I would guess that you've never given it to a loser.
I would guess too. Probably I haven't.
Because mostly we're looking at high points wins. We're looking
Yeah.
at like these really, just amazing things, right?
Yeah.
And so like it just becomes really interesting that sets up a scenario in which, we've talked about this before. It'd be real easy. I could give it to Ed. I could give it to Lee.
I didn't even fill out a full lineup.
I could give it to Brennan. Like all 3 of those guys are deserving.
Yeah.
Okay. But one of the things that really solidifies hillbilly-ish,
Okay.
Lee not filling out a full lineup, but
yeah,
would it have mattered?
No, it wouldn't have.
No.
I don't think a kicker's getting him that many points.
No. When you draft a guy in the 4th round and then you don't play him, and then you go out and you draft a defense higher than almost anybody else, maybe the highest. I was trying to look it up. It looks like the Bills went first, but then Ratty came in right behind and took the 49ers defense. When you draft guys and then you move away from them because you're just like, oh, well, Najee's not going to do anything, or
Yeah.
I know I drafted the 49ers high, but man, Dallas, they've been pretty good, and then you don't play those guys.
Yeah.
And you score 112, but you would have scored 130 had you played the people that you drafted.
Like, go with who got you there, right? Although,
I mean, 49ers are still that.
So this is probably a first. I think I know where you're going with this.
Josh Rademacher, congratulations. You are the hillbilly of the week because you had everything you needed to win and get high points on your team.
Yeah. And he didn't do that.
And he didn't do it.
And yet, because somehow he's just the best of us, he ends up getting.
He's also the Miller Time Team of the Week because, I would agree. If you just look top to bottom down our list, the nicest guy in our league is Josh.
Oh, yeah.
And a close second used to be Danny, but Danny's no longer with us, and there's no way you would put Andy in that same category.
What a drop off that was.
Yeah. I mean, if you were gonna just count out in their lifetimes how many times Danny's been called a jackass and how many times Andy's been called a jackass.
Yeah. Andy might have it in 1 week. Like
yeah, it's like
by his own family.
Yes,
like he's got enough Wilhelms that,
Yeah. All right. So we
hey,
had
the
some
awards,
What I mean, can you remember a time when a team going into the final matchup, like the other team needed less than 10 points and it was like a given that they were going to lose, and somebody just like you can't get 9 points 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah.
I mean, Brian, I'm sorry, Brian, like you deserve to win. Adam, I'm sorry, the week before you didn't deserve to win because you just didn't. But no, it's like I don't know
Monday
how that
nights
happened.
have been brutal.
Well, that one was Brian's was Sunday night, but yeah, I mean, both of those were set up perfectly for me to lose, and like just scenarios didn't work out. I mean, for the week before for Adams, I mean, Herbert scores 30 this week, right? You know what I mean? After he couldn't score 10 last week. It's like, how's that even happen? But Adam bounced back. He played Ed, scored 117. Great for him. Rennie, 102. Doing everything he needs to do. He hasn't locked his playoff spot in yet, but he's really close, right?
I thought, I mean, it almost would seem pretty rare that like Travis had the high points going into some final games and he held
Did it stay that way?
Yeah.
That Monday night game was
maybe if Josh Allen didn't give the ball away, then Diggs might have gotten 4 more points, but you know.
What do you think about what do you make of Junior's meteoric rise?
I know. Well, we could kind of do a lineup, I think a lot of it is Eckler being back
Burrow
and healthy.
Burrow
playing better. That's huge.
Eckler
and then
healthy.
He didn't. It's everybody else. Well, Gibbs had a big game. That 23 spot. Was.
And Woods did nothing, which is, he's been great for him.
Yeah, but they got those 3 other guys, the young guys. I don't think Woods is going to see the field anymore.
Well, I take that back. Woods had a couple games that were pretty good, but then the last 3 weeks he had been out, so he just came back. Yeah. So, Tank Dell and some of these younger guys have done. But
he gets 107, and this was one of those weeks that you live in. It's going to happen with Taysom Hill. He's going to have those touchdown, where he does all 3 things. He throws, he passes, he catches, and then he's going to have a 2 spot. And that's what he did, Yeah. That's the joy of Taysom Hill. So, yeah, lucky you, Junior.
And here's the thing, Lee still has a decent team.
Yeah.
Don't give up, Lee. You're still right there.
White's been good. Goff's been, good. Ridley's taken some hits, and Downs, I don't know what happened there.
Do you take solace in the fact that you scored 106 points?
Not really. I had probably, that might have been that I picked up Purdy and I picked up Indy defense. That might be like 2 of my, for 1 week to pick up 2 spots and have them score 57,
almost 50.
Yeah, 30 plus, almost 47 points, and I still lose. So yeah, so that was good. Now I don't know what to do because Purdy's on a good team. I can't bench him, even though I love Fields because he's just like, I see Michael Vick when he's out there.
Well, and San Francisco's getting healthy, so they got all these weapons.
So I can probably afford to wait a week, even though Fields is probably going to play. I think he's going to play. I might wait a week on that, but I don't know. I might change my mind too, but we'll see.
And Andy's been good and consistent, 119. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, that's even good for him. And so it took every bit of it to beat Ratty. But again, we said, Ratty left those points on his bench. I mean, I get it. Like,
and
Dallas has been on fire.
Andy was one. You might cry here, to get one Tyler Boyd drop away from high points.
Dude,
because that would have put him. Yeah, he would have definitely had it.
Here, I'll pull a Tyler Boyd. No comment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
He catches that pass 9 out of 10 times.
He does. Yeah.
And they wouldn't have been in that position if it wasn't for Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
So
but
dude, you got to catch that ball.
We've talked about this. I think it seems like every week there's been a foot out of bounds, a drop pass that decides an entire high point or win. All these games, and it comes down to one play sometimes.
Yeah,
a lot of times.
Yeah. I mean, good breakdown. Hey, we didn't really talk about me versus Brian. I don't want to dwell on it too long because I don't want to be accused of being a solely focused. But I think I have a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
he will not see the bench unless something crazy happens because I don't trust
28, 27. That's a pretty good.
I don't trust Trevor Lawrence.
Now, are you worried at all of what Denver just did to Josh Allen?
No, because Josh Allen sucks. And I'm hearing that Justin Jefferson might be back this week.
Yeah, that's true. So your boy might help you even more.
The beauty of having like just the Minnesota quarterback and not having to worry about Jefferson or is it Addison?
Yeah.
Yeah, or Hutchinson though it's all of them, dude. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not tied. It's just the quarterback position. Just like, I mean, 3 weeks ago I had 5 Jacksonville Jaguars on my lineup, and I'm gonna get to the point where I only have 1. So
yeah, you've made some changes. So along those lines, do we dare bring it up? Do we dare talk about it?
I want you to know that I'm wearing this gear because I want everybody to know where my loyalty lies.
Okay.
I'm feeling a little bit of remorse about bringing another Raven onto my team, and so I just want everybody to know.
Right at the wrong time.
I've made requests to try to bench as many Ravens as possible. Ravens defense will not play against the Bengals. Tucker will not play against the Bengals.
Really?
Not against my team. No. I cannot root.
You're going to have to pick up a kicker?
I will pick up a kicker. Okay. I'll pick up a defense. I will probably end up starting my new tight end.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews.
Because, I mean, your loyalty.
My loyalty only goes so far.
Yes.
But I do not want to watch the game tomorrow night and secretly be like, well, I mean, that sack against Burrow wasn't that bad. I still got points for it. You know, like, I don't even want that in my mind. I want to just like fantasy be damned. Okay. I'm already in the playoffs. I don't care.
The opposite approach.
What's that?
I'll see if I can find a Raven just so I know they'll be bad.
Yeah. Well, I said, did you see what I said? I'm collecting all the Ravens like Infinity Stones and just to bench them all. So that's
okay. Yeah. So you can bench them because if you played them, they would do well because you just keep seeming to pick gems.
Yeah. You play them and they're going to tank.
Very possible. Although I did have 2 good pickups this week, so I don't,
you and I talked about this offline earlier on because I did not message Brendan. I didn't reach out to him. I didn't do anything. I just sent a trade request.
Yeah.
And Brendan, it didn't really get any kind of there was no pushback. Nobody really said anything. Travis has been silent. Yeah, he hit yes. Nobody said anything except for Adam. But I'm sorry, he who shall not be named. Um, so nobody really said anything. The only thing that I would say about this trade, because I think it's fair. I think it's more fair than probably the other trade, even though that one it worked out fine. Like if I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, but I mean, the trade is what it is.
I
The
I could
only
go.
the
I could
only
make an
optics
argument either
the
way.
only yeah the only optics of it is that Brennan's in last place,
Yeah.
but he's not
That,
out of it.
no, and
And he still has a chance to win high points, and he desperately needs wide receivers. I mean, he needed
nobody put a
players.
gun to his head,
No,
and
no.
I'm sure he's thinking,
Out of the 12 of us, him and Rennie probably have more money than anybody here. They're
yeah,
probably smarter than anybody here. He can make his own decisions.
and I don't necessarily have everybody's
Lineup
lineups
memorized.
memorized all the time, but when you have two good tight ends, that doesn't, and you're in last place, that's your
Yeah.
only. So he could have offered you Schultz, who he's on a Houston up and coming, like he scored a bunch of touchdowns.
Right.
Either way, like two good tight ends do you no good,
Well, and
because
I
you know
told
why?
you, like, I
Because
thought I
we
might
don't
get
have
a
a flex position.
yeah. I thought I might get I thought I might get a counter offer from him or
Yeah,
just like a denial, but he accepted it, and honestly, like, I didn't love giving away Puka. Like, that dude's
yeah.
who got me here. You know what I mean?
No,
I,
and
I
I think
felt like I felt like with Tank Dell's rise, I could probably get away with it. I still have Kirk if I needed to plug somebody else in at wide receiver. He's not nearly as good as some of these other guys. But, I don't know that if I have a chance to challenge Adam or Travis for the top spot, I'll probably, that's probably unlikely. I would like to win a high points if I could get one. That's probably unlikely. But I thought
yeah.
a quarterback and
mean,
a tight end are the two things that my team was really lacking, and so that I feel like I'm more well-rounded.
yeah. I feel like, and maybe it's Brennan probably only gives so much time to this, and so,
Yeah.
but he probably could have negotiated. Like, I don't know that getting, like, now that I look at more in depth at his team and see that he, like, remember that he's got Schultz, and
He probably didn't need. He
Schultz
didn't
has already
need.
had his bye. He didn't need another, really, um, the Jacksonville guy, Ingram. He
Yeah.
could have he could have picked anybody else on your
Well, and
team,
he even said in chat, he was like, I wanted to ask for a wide receiver, or
or
I mean, a
running back.
running back. One of my running backs is on bye. That wasn't going to help him. He still had
Yeah.
his bye, and then
And,
my other
and
one's on IR, and it's
we've talked
so
about this, I think, at the beginning of the year or last year or something, where how difficult it is to come up with trades, because you're like there's 12 teams, but they just don't always match of strengths and what people have available. It's hard to find a good match. And so,
Well, and even like as I was looking for teams with tight ends, like it was either I was looking at first teams on the bubble. Well, nobody on the bubble had a tight end that like was any better than the tight ends that I had. And then people who do have like some really good scoring tight ends, well, they're like in first, second, or third place. They're not going to trade with me because like they're trying to win the league. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And,
it's and I didn't
you
have something that they necessarily need.
look back at weeks 1 through 5, and you would say Puka for
Mark
Mark
Andrews.
Andrews straight up
Yeah.
wouldn't be out of the question if you need if you have two good tight ends, which he had
Right.
Schultz, and I don't know if he did at the time, but say he did, and you're in last place. That's your only bargaining chip, is that you got two of the best tight ends.
Yeah.
You got to get something. So Puka would have been, and now that possibly Stafford's, he might come back, things could change, and he could be back to old Puka again. So yeah, I don't think it was super
No,
lopsided.
yeah, no, and
Um,
so I don't love my team. We've talked about this the whole time. Like after the draft, what the heck was I thinking? I'm way too Jacksonville heavy. So I've been working to try to get less
yeah, and you've
dependent on
done,
them.
and
Trying to
you've
fill
won in
in
the
with
meantime.
yeah, just
You've
trying
managed to pull
to
things up.
fill in with other guys I picked up off waivers. But even in winning, quarterback and tight end have been two spots, you know what I mean, that have been really like underwhelming for me, and every week. I think that I think I only had up until this week, I think I only had one other week where I scored over 20 points from the quarterback position. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
And but if Dobbs works out, like I felt, oh, well, hey, this might work. He's in a new team. They got a ton of weapons. He seems like he's going to throw the ball over the place, like, or he can scramble. Like, that's good.
Yeah.
And then tight end, like both tight ends that I've put in, I've tried different tight ends. Like, it's just been a train wreck. Like, I mean, it's been fine. It's been 3 or 4 points. Like, it seems like every week. And it's like, I just felt like taking a flyer to try to do something. But yeah, I mean, I learned it from Adam. He said if you're not trying, you're not playing. So
No,
Adam,
and
thank
I
you for the
think
advice.
the most interesting thing about the trade isn't that it happened, it was what didn't happen following on the group chat. That it was like crickets,
Well,
except
I
for
said
who was the first
Adam.
person to respond?
Well, Adam.
Begging for, like, hey,
Outrage.
how come there's no outcry about this? That kind of thing. I thought that was kind of interesting, but maybe there was just some trade drama fatigue and people were over it.
Maybe I caught people on a busy work day.
Yeah.
But so
we're a wait and see approach.
We're a wait and see approach. Yeah.
But good job. You're doing something, you're trying, and Brennan is giving things a shot. I hope Puka goes 15 for 150 with 3 touchdowns and it works out for him,
I hope between now and the end of the season, Brennan gets a high points, and I hope that Puka's the reason that he gets it.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump in here. We got a big matchup. Flex versus Skank. If you're Rennie and you're trying to punch that playoff spot and just like solidify that, and then you find out that you're going to play, and he's been calling his last 4 weeks, he's been calling it a gauntlet, right? I mean, yeah. So he gets
this is
Travis
week 1 of it, but they're both 4 wins in a row.
Yeah. We got some lineup work to do for Rennie. If he wants a kicker, he could go 0 kicker like Lee, but I don't suggest it.
Yeah.
Of course, I think
Travis has no work to do.
I mean, Travis gets Josh Allen, who is on the struggle bus, right?
Yeah.
Against the Jets.
Whose Jets have been pretty solid.
Sauce Gardner is going to have a field day. So
he's going to blanket Diggs and Gabe Davis at the same time.
Yeah.
Somehow he'll guard both of them.
Yeah.
and Kincaid won't catch anything.
I know that Judy didn't do a ton in the other game. Because Rennie had put the poll out like, hey, should I start these guys? And it didn't really matter. It was like all 3 of them did about the same. But Rennie has to feel optimistic with the fact that Denver's playing so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, Judy's going to have a game.
Because now, especially after Sutton had a good game, it's like they're going to shuffle things over his way maybe, and Judy might be open a little more.
Yeah. I think I like Kincaid as his tight end. I think that young kid for there, I think that there's promise there. Yeah.
And that St. Brown's been a stud for Detroit. So
yeah. I mean, selfishly, I hope that Travis's tight end scores like 40 this week, but that's just me. So
I think Barkley is still, if you've watched some of the Giants, like he's still good, but the Giants just are horrible.
Yeah, they're terrible. Yeah. Yeah, you got to hope that they get like a pass interference call like on the 3-yard line so that Barkley can like punch one in.
Yeah, and Aaron Jones' situation is maddening because he's, they got him and Dylan who just split things too much and it kills both of their values.
So
so this will be a big one. It'll I mean, for Travis, he's just trying to hold on, he's got to stay above Adam, and you got to win to do that.
Now we've got the battle of the besties, Junior versus Adam.
What do you think of that?
I think that I'll say this about Adam's team. Early on in the season, I thought Adam's team was a little bit of smoke and mirrors because they were getting wins, scoring in the 80s and 90s. And then, I did something fun. Adam thinks that I focus on him too much, or I'm infatuated with him. I am. So I just wanted to go back and look, and before, so if Adam and I played each other every week this season,
Yeah.
what would our records be?
I mean, I know he wasn't scoring a ton early on, but he was winning. I'd say 5-5.
That's right, 5-5. So we'd be 5-5, which
Coin flip.
means that I'm gonna. And Adam has been trending towards more points. Adam,
So you're saying you're
wrong.
just as good as Adam? Okay.
I didn't say it. You said it. Hey, no,
this season.
I'm saying that I'm warming up to Adam's team being better than I thought they were, because he's now starting to put some real points on the board. Even in his loss to me, he was in the 90s. He's got. Here's Adam's thing. If you look back at all of Adam's scores, I don't know if you want to pull them up or not. He doesn't have any stinkers.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like they're all
they're-
90s, 100s, 100s. You know what I mean? So Adam's team is. We've always said from the very beginning. We've said he's consistent. Okay, this is not. But he's trending up. Junior has been really good.
Yeah.
I hope Burrow. I mean, let's go, Joe. I hope Burrow scores 40 in this game as well. But man, I mean, Adam will be tough to beat. I just think that his team is getting stronger. You know, we could have a game where Mixon scores 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he's
it's
due
like you're
for
almost
one.
due for that.
Yeah. So, or was it last season? We had a 5 touchdown game from Mixon.
Really? I'm okay.
2 years ago, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
So,
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. But if I had to pick somebody right now, I'm going to pick Adam just because of the track record. But if Junior were to upset Adam, things get a little crazy.
Junior needs a tight end. He also needs somebody to play the position tight end.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, all right. Well, let's see who we got Andy facing this week. We got Polk High School versus Show Me Your TDs. So
another tough draw for Lee.
Poor Lee trying to climb back into the playoff race. He's got more than a kicker to replace this time. He needs a defense and
2 wide receivers, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
But at least his kicker that he still had from last week is back in, and active, so that's good.
Yeah. And Lee, if you're watching this, it looks like Justin Jefferson may start, so you might want to keep an eye on that. So you got till Sunday night to do that. But I mean, Andy's just been rolling. He's got no work to do. I mean,
Jacobs and Walker have been money. Hurts gets the brotherly shove every week, it seems like.
Yeah.
Guaranteed touchdown pretty much. Boyd is probably gonna, you almost assume that they're gonna try to get Boyd a touchdown just to get his confidence back.
Yeah, they're gonna throw to him like on first down. Yeah.
And I mean, without Higgins and with Chase, he'll get. I mean, he's always open, but say he's not open like a tiny smidgen bit, they're gonna throw it to Boyd.
Yeah. Or they're tight ends, but yeah, I think Boyd's gonna get a TD. I think Boyd's good for a TD this week. I mean, come on, we need a Bengals win more than any fantasy.
Arizona is their receivers all are notched up with Kyler back. They had a pretty good week, so that Brown, and then I don't know what to make of Adams though, because he's so disgruntled in Vegas.
Yeah. I wish he would have got traded to somebody who would have really kind of. I mean, I'm sure that Andy does too, but.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have. I'm facing Ed, and
trap game.
What's that? Trap
game?
It could be. I'll tell you what.
I mean, actually, Levis had that one big week, and that's why he was a kind of a waiver wire dynamo, and that's when Ed got him. But he's gotten 9-6 like 2 weeks in a row, and now Jacksonville's defense is no picnic. So. I mean, maybe he'll stick with him if he's paying attention at all. He might try to look elsewhere and see if somebody else might get 15 to 20. But other than that, I mean, Pollard, you think he's due because they've been throwing the ball all over. Like everybody got a touchdown last week except Pollard. He's gonna, well, I guess he needs to replace a running back, but like Addison, Thielen, Laporta, I mean Cooper. Although Cooper takes a hit with, I don't know who's going to be throwing in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean he's
Uh,
got pieces, but it's
yeah.
you. I mean you've built you've built a lot stronger team than you had even weeks ago. So, uh,
Yeah, and I'll tell you though, it will be interesting. Like not this week, because Taylor's on bye and Kyron Williams is still on IR, but he comes off of IR next week.
yeah, you're going to
Potential
have
to
some
start.
choices.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I would guess. I'm going to tell you, I haven't looked to see who Indy plays next week. I'll probably start Taylor next week just to
Yeah.
see what happens with Williams, but good chance that I mean, we'll see what he does going down the stretch and or what those matchups are. But that's what I haven't had this issue all season long because I've only had two running backs
Yeah.
to play.
I mean, you had a stinker from ETN, but he's probably earned a spot to have one of those and stay in the
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah. But I've only, I haven't had any other options at running back as far as like, but it'll be interesting when it's like now I've got all three of those guys like have to choose one in a couple weeks, but we'll save that decision for another day. So
There you go.
I like my chances against Ed. I
Yeah.
like Ed's here's the good news about Ed. He only has one position to fill, and he has not left a position unfilled all season. So I'm going to go ahead and just assume that he's going to have a full lineup. And but I'm going to bench as many Baltimore players as I can because I do not. I mean, like you would probably guess that Baltimore's defense is unbenchable at this point, right?
It'd be tough. I mean, you'd have to have a pretty good option to
Yeah,
go
but
over top of them.
yeah, but
And
I'll put him on the bench because I want the Bengals to
but if you're
score
gonna, I mean, it wouldn't be the dumbest thing to bench anybody against the
the
Bengals. I
Bengals.
mean,
Yeah,
even if
yeah,
you're not a homer.
yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna bench Tucker just because I hate him and I don't want the Baltimore Ravens to score unless it's Mark Andrews. So
So when you say you're Baltimore, you just your defense and your kicker.
well, who do I? Let's see if Everett's projected to play. He's questionable, so we'll
Okay.
see. It'll be a
Okay.
game time decision. All right.
There you go. That's fair enough.
We'll decide. We'll decide. All right. Who goes and trades for a guy and then contemplates benching him the first week
Just because of being a homer.
because of being a homer?
Yeah.
You will have to award me the hillbilly of the week if I do all that.
I would like to do that. Yes.
Yes. Oh, all right. We got Ratty versus Dead Rats.
Not a good week for me.
Yeah.
I put in a little right. Like I've been scrambling so much every week, just trying to come up with a best lineup I can that I didn't really have a means to. I mean, there wasn't anybody. I didn't plan ahead for the week that my plan was that Pierce would be healthy and would be the number one running back for Houston all season long, and that was my only plan. or
well,
that
you've scored
Mitchell.
You scored back-to-back weeks with over 100 points. So what's your strength been in that?
That's a good question. I mean, defense, good quarterback play. Warren has gotten a touchdown, I think, or gotten over 10 every time. He's been for a backup, for a number 2 running back on his own team. He's gotten me some points.
So
Usually
right now,
one
as it
receiver does
stands,
really well.
You think you'll go Purdy over Fields?
I kind of want to give it a week. I don't know what I'll do, but I mean, Purdy's got a good team. I mean, all he has to do is a screen pass to Debo, and it goes 80 yards sometimes. So,
Do you feel like that Tua and Hill are due, and that you're going to catch the brunt of it?
it's possible. Vegas, they've stopped some people.
Yeah.
And they don't.
What's the white dude that plays defensive end for them that has all the tattoos? Is it Mason?
Don't know. The defensive
He's
guy.
the guy that was smoking a cigar in the first win that they. I mean, they won back-to-back games.
Okay.
Um,
I
it,
mean, that's my only hope that
that dude's a dog.
either Vegas figures out how to slow him down, or they run a lot and try to eat the clock, or Miami goes up big with a couple big running back runs, and
Oh,
they don't have to
hey,
pass anymore.
Dave, just because we're friends and I love you, I hope Keenan Allen isn't the player that just like beats you, okay?
I
Because I
know.
know you got an affinity for him.
Back in the Charger days with
Yeah.
yeah, those were the days.
So the rumor was that possibly we were going to have a new quarterback in Cleveland. Is this
See, I
real
didn't
or
even
just
I never even
I
saw it.
haven't
I
seen
responded
anything
to
real
that,
about
but I
it.
didn't even know. I never heard anything about it.
Maybe Adam's grasping at straws, or maybe it's true.
He might know a guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
What
mean, hey, I
would
don't
you
know what.
welcome? Would you? Gosh darn it, Dave! Would you welcome back Philip Rivers?
I don't know that. Was it PJ Walker? Is that? I mean, they don't. They
Dad,
have such a
dad,
great team outside of quarterback. So
Dadgummit, Dave.
maybe he could he can almost field a team with him and his kids, right?
He's good. Oh
Like,
yeah,
if
yeah,
he's quarterback and then he's got
yeah,
11, 10 kids, like
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I don't like. I'm gonna. I mean, my existing lineup probably needs to be tweaked, but I don't know how to do it yet. So yeah,
oh,
I got my work cut out for me.
that brings us to 2-8 versus 2-8.
There we go.
Sundance versus
That's where I want to
Fine.
be. I want to be playing one of these guys. But no, I mean, but then you look at Brian's projections and they seem legit, like
Well,
104 is like
you don't call him bad beat Brian for nothing. He scored 107 last week.
scores
Hey,
just not enough.
what
So
if
yeah, I don't.
what if he
And
gets
Brennan,
another
you want to say Brennan's
another
due,
bad beat and it's all because of Puka?
but I mean, yeah, I mean, one of these guys is gonna have a better chance than the other of making the playoffs for sure.
Well, Dave, let's just talk about that for a second. Brennan has a 5% chance. You have a 12% chance. Brian has a 20% chance, so a big win would go a long way for him.
Yeah, it does help that he's got a ton of points. I mean, he's got
Yeah,
more points than Ed.
yeah.
He's got
Lee,
he's got yeah, I mean,
yeah, Lee has a 50% chance. It's 50-50 for Lee. Lee, you're
yeah.
either going to get your crap together or you're going to end up right where you're at in ninth place.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we've got Junior. Here's a funny thing. Junior currently 70% chance to make the playoffs. Ed only 61.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
don't even know.
better
Like,
than 50, but
I don't
I
have a
mean,
lot to root for here because I mean, strategically, it'd be better for me for Brennan to beat Brian.
mhm.
But if Brennan beats Brian
And you
and I lose,
lose.
I'm in last place.
Yeah, but if you end up in last place, you get the number 1 draft spot next year.
No, we don't do it that way.
No,
Remember?
that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's to keep people from tanking.
Yeah, I'm not tanking.
Is that not what's going on?
I just suck.
Um,
But what I don't like about looking at the standings is seeing X's next to two names. That's the worst.
yeah. I thought um Rennie said the other day that me and Andy had X's, but now it's not X's.
I don't see
I
it.
thought yeah, it was the other day and now it's not.
Huh.
So I don't know if it was wrong or if maybe we saw
Well, you
incorrectly.
got four. I mean, technically, I mean, it depends on matchups, whether or not, I mean, theoretically, if you didn't win again, you just ended at 7 and some
Yeah,
of the
Lee
other
could
teams
get to
with
8
some
wins.
other teams with 4 could get, but it just all depends on who plays who, whether that can even happen.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
you're thinking about seeding. But I mean, hey, anything could happen the last few weeks too. You could win out and take first place.
could. Yep, I could. That's why we made the trade, Dave.
And it's all going to be Edwards, and everybody's going to hate you.
Hey, I have, I have, I've got 3 goals this season, Dave.
Okay.
4. Okay, four goals. 4 goals. You want to hear them?
I do.
All right.
I'd love to.
Okay, first goal, beat Adam. Check. All right.
Okay.
Second goal, win a high points.
Not quite a check yet.
Not quite a check yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Goal 3. It's going to be a tough one. Finish higher than Adam in the standings.
Ooh, you need some help with that one.
I need some
You
help.
need some hillbilly help.
I need some hillbilly help because I did my part.
Yeah.
I beat him.
Yeah.
Now I need some help for some other guys to beat him.
Yeah.
All right. And then the fourth goal, win the championship.
Okay.
Not the league championship.
Yeah,
That's Travis.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl.
Get to the playoffs
and win the Super Bowl.
And get yourself a trophy.
Get myself a cool couple $100. However much it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Those are 4 good goals, right?
Those are great goals.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have goals. I don't have
goals. I don't have any more goals.
I got them on a vision board in my bathroom, like in the, you just write them with marker on your mirror. And so it's like beat Adam, and then I just like mark that out. And then it's like high points. And I almost marked it out back a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh, son of a gun. It's freaking Rennie. So now league, if you want to help me, Brendan already helped me out. And then if I could just get a little bit more help to eclipse Adam. I mean, you know how Brendan helped me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that trade.
Oh,
yeah. That thing. Lopsided Adam.
How much did you?
What's that? I couldn't pay him.
A little money too, right?
No, he's got so much money. He doesn't
Venmo.
even know what to. Other money doesn't. I mean, Brendan's rich. He doesn't need money. It was other things. So, well, Dave.
Yeah.
We got a big week this week. We got a few teams that are fighting for their playoff lives. We got some teams that are thinking about championships, like Flex and Adam. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, 2 teams tied at 9-1 at the top of the standings. That's I mean, it's better than a runaway. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be exciting. So, but they've separated themselves from the rest of us for sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see, Junior's team is bad, but he's fully in. Like, he wants to make the playoffs. He wants to win, right? And so, and he's coming on strong. And then you got teams like Ed and Lee, whose teams are really pretty good, but like either just through some bad luck or maybe not paying attention or just getting busy. Maybe they haven't done a couple things that they could have done to like keep that momentum going. And so now they've really dropped and now they're susceptible. I mean, Ratty's got a great team, I think, and just a couple bad losses has got him mixed in with some company that I don't think he deserves to be in. And so it's like, what's going to happen here in the last couple weeks? It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. But fantasy aside, the reason that we're here today is because on Thursday night, tomorrow night, Bengals play the Ravens. We got to get a conference win.
Yeah.
We got to get a division win.
You beat the Ravens.
Beat the Ravens.
Cleveland
then
just
the
beat
Steelers.
Cleveland's kind of in they're kind of in disarray right now.
Yeah. I mean,
Pittsburgh is
here's the good
beatable.
news, okay? Cleveland has no quarterback. Pittsburgh's quarterback is trash.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the Ravens and the Bengals. And if we can beat the Ravens this week, that goes a long way to just getting us back on the right track because as good as we are, and if we keep winning, it doesn't matter. We dug ourselves in a hole. And if the AFC North just keeps winning out, like 4 AFC North teams can't make the playoffs.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
I mean, when you got to, I mean, there's other divisions that are just crap top to bottom.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Bengals, let's go. Yeah. So
Alrighty.
I hope no Ravens score any points this week. So it's football over fantasy. It's
There you go.
Bengals over Ravens. All right.
You'd be happy with like 50 yards and a Mark Edwards fumble. And he
On
ends
my
with
bench.
three.
Yeah.
He ends with on your bench. Okay. Fair enough.
Yep. Yep.
All right, man.
Yeah. Four Mark Edwards,
Andrews.
4 Mark Andrews fumbles on my bench, and 4 scooping scores for the Bengals defense. Who's got them? Brian? Yeah.
Because he played him against the Bills that time. But yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, everybody, have a good weekend. Hope you all do great. Ed, I really am pulling for you, man. I hope you can turn your season around. I don't want to lose this week, but fill out a full lineup, and all you teams that are fighting for the playoffs, good luck. Even you, Dave.
Since you created the initial one,
Mm-hmm.
and so the only way I felt like I could be worse than that is to make this. So this is
it's an homage.
It's past you. It's who you were years ago.
Yeah.
That's
what
Dave, I'm referencing. This isn't
Dave,
you now. You're not
no.
this.
No. Thanks, Dave. Dave, thanks for the song. Any similarities to people?
Pure coincidence.
Pure coincidence.
Yeah.
All right, man. Have a great one, and I will see you all later. Peace.
Yeah.